Yeah, I'm Giacomo Brunelli, and I was born in Perugia in 1977. I started working on animals in 2005, and I'm still working on them. And I graduated in communication in Perugia, and then in 2003 I attended a 6 months course in Rome in photography, in photojournalism. The images were taken in the center of Italy, Umbria, the region where I was born, Tuscany and Lazio. And so the way I work is that I wake up and I take the car, or I keep walking, and as soon as I see an animal that interests me, I decided to follow him and to take pictures of him. And yes, I wake up early in the morning because all those pictures were taken during the morning light, so between, let's say, from 6 o'clock to 1 o'clock. The prints, it's small because of the darkroom, so I print them myself, and so I decided to keep them small because you have to get close to them to see them, and you can see and I decided even to cut the corners, so it's they have the rounded corners, and with a black marker, I color with the black the edges of the image, and yeah, they're very small, or not very small, but it's 8 by 10 inches. And yeah, once they get dry, they do like this. They become curved. It's like a tray. For example, this particular image was taken, I think it was 2007 in close to Orvieto. It's a medieval town, in Etruscan medieval town in Umbria, and I saw this little black cat, and so I decided to follow him, and I climbed up the tree, and yeah, so I was like this way on the branch, and I took this picture while he was leaping. That one is a dead frog, and is a toad that I found while I was driving the car through the countryside around Perugia, my hometown. And and while I was walking with him, I just saw a piece of wood, a stick, and I decided to make this composition. And that one is a dead snake too. He was taken on the day of my birthday, May 21st, and so I was driving the car and I found this snake dead by the road. So I picked it up and I put it under the sun to get it dry, stiff, so that I could move it as I wanted. And then while I was taking the picture, I saw this flower that, yeah, it's a dead mouse that Yeah, the same as the snake. Here there's a skeleton of a horse around Rome, around the countryside in Rome, and it was close. The place is Tolfa, so just it's a complex of mountains around Rome, and I was driving the car and I saw this skeleton. It's very strange. It's not common to find a skeleton, I think, and so I staged, not a stage, but yeah, I touched this skeleton and I put it this way to take the picture. And sometimes I take 2 or 3 pictures. Sometimes I take a roll of film. For example, for this I took maybe 30 images on the film. Sometimes I took just one, like this one, like this one. This one, for example, is a dead toad that I found by the road, and I didn't touch it. I just, this is the camera I use. It's a Miranda from Japan, 1968. It was my father's camera. And I have this, I think it's pentaprism. So you can remove it and you can work like this, like doing this, yeah. And that's a picture that I've used. Sometimes it's very often, I use it very often. It's a kind of, because it's, yeah, it's very practical, yeah. And these 2 images, which are, very similar to, they really explain very well the way I work in the darkroom, because my film, it's always very dark, the film. So it's very, I don't know if it's under or overexposed, but it's very dark. So sometimes my images take 30-40 seconds under the larger, which means that they really need light to get it dark. And this image, the way I printed, it's like it was 17 seconds. The first I don't know, what's the first light of the larger, 15 seconds. Then I did like this way and then I retouched with the burning around the pigeon. Yeah, that's the technique. Yeah, that's the same, because I did like this, that is the other way, yeah. And then I retouched like this with burning inside. Yeah, keeping, for example, why 17 seconds? 17 seconds because of this one. So maybe 18 seconds would be too much, because these spots of light would have been too dark. So, and for example, that one is maybe it's around 30 seconds, and maybe this point of white around the eye will be dark. So that's the first thing you have to deal with while choosing how much do you want the print to be under the larger.